good evening and welcome to Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, coming to you live from our studio here at Adesanwe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Coming up this evening, Paul Afoko stages a political comeback as he joins the race for the NPP chairmanship for the upcoming elections later next year. After he's been away for about a decade, we'll try and decipher what exactly is informing his decision to come back for a political slot in the NPP. Later, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin rules that the anti-LGBTQ bill will be reintroduced and passed again for presidential assent. And later, broadcast journalist and former Ghana Airport Company board chairman Paul Adom Ochri says that he is suing the Office of the Special Prosecutor over Property Declaration Directive. What exactly is his reasoning? We have that for you also. And later, Ghana National Fire Service launches investigation into Tuesday's building collapse at Roman Ridge, which left 14 people injured. Details of all of these and more coming up in a jiffy. Time now, though, for the news summaries.
Yes. Martin, in a summaries, a Kumasi High Court has dismissed an injunction application by Asiedu-Dartey to halt the funeral rites of High Life legend Daddy Lumba. The court affirmed that the authority over his mortal remains rests with his extended family and not his wife. Now, Asiedu-Dartey, per the Asante tradition, the legal tussle which has captivated the nation reached a crucial juncture as the courts refused to grant an injunction that would have prevented the legendary musician's extended family from taking his body from the morgue and proceeding with the final funeral rites. A building at the premises of the architectural engineering group at Roman Ridge in Accra has collapsed on Tuesday, October 28, with people trapped inside. The Ghana National Fire Service confirmed the incident in a Facebook post on Tuesday. The statement said the team from the Ghana National Fire Service have moved to the scene and have since been working tirelessly to rescue those trapped under. Now, according to them, rescue efforts have been made, and we are following that quite closely. Also, President John Mahama has assured the family of former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo that she will be giving a full state burial and accorded the appropriate send-off. Speaking after visiting the house of the former First Lady, John Mahama said the Nana Akufo-Addo contribution to woman empowerment remains unmatched. Finally, Minister for Finance Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen has reaffirmed the government's unwavering commitment to maintaining a strong and stable city. He is describing it as a sacred national duty and the cornerstone of economic sovereignty. Speaking at the launch of the city at 60th anniversary celebration at the Accra International Conference Center, Dr. Forsen said the management of the national currency remains a top priority in the government's economic strategy. Once again, we remind you that all of this are on our website, 3news.com. Do well to visit there for all the details. Martin, over to you.
Thank you very much. Let's go straight into the details now. We are starting from the camp of the New Patriotic Party, where former national chairman of the party, Paul Awentami Afoko, has announced his intention to contest the party's national chairmanship position in the upcoming national officers election. The declaration made in a statement today marks his first major political move since his suspension nearly a decade ago. Mr. Afoko says his decision follows wide consultations and encouragement from party members and stakeholders. He first made history in 2014 when he became the NPP's first northern-born national chairman, and his tenure, however, was cut short in 2015, just barely a year after, which led to his suspension over internal disputes that led to a constitutional crisis within the NPP. Paul Afoko says his comeback is driven by a desire to rebuild, strengthen and unify the NPP through transparency, inclusivity and renewed leadership. He now joins a growing list of party heavyweights seeking the NPP's top executive position, including the former CEO of State Transport Corporation, Nana Akomia, former Energy Minister Boakye Jakun, former General Secretary John Buedu, and Ashanti Regional Chairman Benedict Boisiakun, also known as Chairman Wuntumi. All these gentlemen are seeking different positions in the party. Specifically, some of them are going for the national chairmanship slot. In a jiffy, we would speak to the spokesperson of Paul Afoko and get into the behind-the-scenes thinking and the tete-a-tete that has gone on to inform his decision to want to come back to in leadership position of the party. But first, let's speak to Jonathan Asiedu-Dartey, doctor, who is a political analyst and lecturer. Unfortunately, we seem to have lost Dr. Asiedu-Dartey there. But for those of you who've been following Ghana's politics and have keenly paid attention to the New Patriotic Party, one of Ghana's largest political parties, twice they've had the opportunity to lead the country, first under former President John Agyekum Kufuor and then under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It was in the latter part of the campaign, 2015 thereabout, when the Akufo-Addo was heavily seeking to win for the first time to be president of the republic, that Paul Afoko was suspended. And beyond that, Nana Akufo-Addo came into power. The party has been in power or had been in power for 8 years and are now in opposition. What exactly is informing his decision to return to the reins of power? What exactly is the reasoning or the thinking that has gone into Paul Afoko's meeting with his people that he says have encouraged him and are calling on him to come and lead the party as chairman? Well, let's put some of those questions to Dr. Jonathan Asiedu-Dartey, who has joined us for a quick chat. Doc, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Martin.
What did you make of the announcement by Paul Afoko that he intends to come back to contest the chairmanship position of the party? You remember that his earlier stint was short-lived, but after being in suspension and having been quiet all this while, he has decided to step or throw his heart into the ring. How does this come to you?
Well, Martin, let me say good evening to your listeners and to your good self once again. It is quite interesting and intriguing that Mr. Paul Afoko, will decide to come back and take, take a shot at the same position that he was once, suspended indefinitely for. It's very interesting. In actual fact, I am beginning to think that the chairmanship is becoming more interesting, more thrilling than that of the presidential slot. I'm telling you, because the characters that have shown, demonstrated this idea, this desire, to hold that office is very interesting. And I think that it adds some kind of color. I don't want to believe that because they have amended their constitution, i.e. ensuring that when the party is in government or in opposition, the chairman becomes a leader. So that position has become more attractive than even probably the presidential slot. Because to have Mr. Afoko join, I really don't know what might have informed that. Because I'm beginning to think that those who really know him, and they are still within the party and they are delegate could easily decide for him. So I'm foreseeing some kind of sympathy vote. But I know and believe that Mr. Boakye Jako, stands tall as far as current politics is concerned. And so that's the more reason why I advise Mr. Kwabena Agyapong to have gone for the chairmanship. I'm very sure that if Mr. Kwabena Agyapong had gone for the chairmanship, I don't think that Mr. Afoko will have wanted to come back to that particular slot. I don't think Mr. Boakye Jako will have wished to, because they seem to have similar characteristics. They seem to have the same desire. They are really forceful and forthright as far as their thought processes are concerned. And so Mr. Afoko in the doldrum for 10 solid years, I was even wondering when he got reinstated, he did not even utter a word. And suddenly, in actual fact, he has really conducted himself very well, since or post the suspension, then the suspension, and post the reinstatement of that particular status as a member of the party. And so I think that this is really going to make the contest quite colorful and very competitive.
He has had the experience of leading the party before as chairman, and unfortunately, or well, depending on how you look at it, his time wasn't as productive as he personally would have expected. Then he was suspended. Almost a decade on, he is coming back. What do you think his chances are? He's been there before. He knows how the dynamics are in terms of campaigning and speaking to the delegates and coming back. Not much has changed between then and now. So he certainly has some kind of experience when it has to do with campaigning and talking to delegates and hopefully winning. Does he stand a chance this time around, you think?
Well, I cannot easily say so because he's been in the doldrum. I think he's conducted himself very well, as I said. He's never uttered a word for or against anybody. And so he stands tall with the issue of what we call attracting sympathy vote. That one is there. But having been out of the politics of the day for almost 10 years, it's not an easy thing to come and reclaim that particular slot. That apart, those reasons that might have occasioned their suspension, if it is for good or bad, if it is for bad, then generally some people can use that against him. If it is for good, then obviously he will attract the needed sympathy vote, as I spoke about. But what could affect him is the fact that it doesn't seem he will appear rusty as far as the political terrain is concerned, because there are others who are regularly and almost on daily basis in active political arrangement, political organization, political speeches, thought processes here and there. So some of the people who are going to contest him are already household names, and that is a Herculean task for him. Other than that, in terms of sympathy vote, and if indeed the party intends to go a new direction, I think that the front runners could easily be Afoko and Mr. Boakye Jaku, or Mr. Boakye Jaku and Mr. Afoko.
Right.
That of Mr. What's the name?
Nana Komia.
Nana Komia. The Nana Komia one, you see, if Dr. Baumia is likely to win, then, that will affect him because they wouldn't want a yes sir kind of executive to be there. They will want people who will have diverse views and be able to build a party out of diversity or converge.
Okay. Doc, kindly hold on for us. We've been joined by Nana Yao Osei, who is spokesperson for Mr. Paul Afoko. I mean, it will just be a minute. It will just be a minute. So kindly hold on for us. Let me bring in Nana Yao Osei. Nana, good evening to you as well. I think the big question many would ask is, what is informing Mr. Paul Afoko's decision to give it another shot as chairman of the party?
Yeah, thank you very much. The reason is simple. Everybody knows what happened in election 2024, and even the period leading to election 2024. The party wasn't in any better shape. In fact, the election results of 2024 was the icing on the cake, if I may put it that way. Now, it is common knowledge out there that the party requires better organization if it is to forge ahead and to be able to contest any future elections as a credible political party. And so at this juncture, all well-meaning party people have been speaking to each other. And then the idea of Mr. Afoko coming into the picture came up. A lot of people have approached him. He's done a lot of consultations with party people. And his conclusion is that if indeed his MPP, the MPP he has been associated with since several years ago, is to be able to come back to power, then all hands must be on deck. That is the reason why he has decided that he wants to join the fray. He wants to contest for the national chairmanship again. Mind you, this will not be his first time. He's contested and won before. He has some track record. I heard Dr. Jonathan Asiedu-Dartey makes some nice analysis. Yes, as for analysis, depending on where you are coming from, you can say all kinds of things. Let me thank him for whatever he said. But Mr. Afoko believes that once the call to stand again is from the party people, then the work wouldn't be as difficult as some people would want him to believe. At the end of the day, he would engage with the party people. Continuous engagement.
Okay. Nana, yeah, I would kindly hold on for me because, Doc has to leave us. I want to put the answer you've just given us as in what the rationale is for Mr. Paul Afoko to want to come back and how he assesses that. So, Dr. Asiedu-Dartey, he says that, look, the calls for him to come back is incessant. People within the party feel that if they have any chance of winning again, they need old guards with experience to pick up the mantle again. Does that? How do you make, or what do you make of that analysis, which has been the defining factor for Mr. Afoko?
Yeah, Mr. Martin. The point is that yes, I think it's an interesting rationalization of the situation. I think that Mr. Afoko really wants to use this to relaunch his political career, and then see what happens. Because, as much as I have my sympathy, and a soft spot for him because of what happened to him, in actual fact, I found out that they really wanted to crack the whip within the party and didn't go down well with certain categories of the party, and then they engineered those kinds of indefinite suspension against the two of them. But, it is not that simple, for him to really win. I believe he will have some sympathy vote, but what can only affect him is the rustiness. Having been out of, day-to-day political campaigning, is definitely going to be rusty. And, connectivity, network-wise, and all those things could easily affect him. So in as much as it may be a good material for the reorganization of the party, maybe he could serve in a different capacity instead of, getting a chairmanship back. But let's see how it goes. I wish him all the best. But I like the rationalization that he's putting out there. Certainly, he will have to rationalize for his boss. Other than that, of what use will he want to come? He must have a good reason for him to come back. Yeah.
Dr. Jonathan Asiedu-Dartey, thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. He is a political analyst and a lecturer in political science as well. So now let's extend the conversation, shall we, Mr. Yao Osei? We know also that like we've all followed the previous election of Paul Afoko. How has he? Would you say that he has healed following the kind of issues that happened which led to his suspension? Has he healed? Has he mended all wounds? Has he built bridges for which reason you believe, or he believes that his return would be a lot easier as compared to even his first time when he tried to win the position?
Yeah, my brother, if you have taken a good look at the press statement, he talks about putting the past behind. You see, and I did indicate that Mr. Afoko did not just get up and say that on 28th of October, I will announce my intention to contest for the chairmanship of the MPP. A lot of consultations have gone on. I appreciate the concerns shared by Jonathan Asiedu-Dartey. But the point is that when Afoko was contesting for the first time, who knew him? He was a party member, ordinary party member. But when he decided to join the fray to contest, what did we see internally? At the end of the day, continuous engagement with the party people with his message won him the day. And so for him, this time is no different from that time. This time, he's coming in as a former national chairman. He still has a lot of people within the party who believe in him. And so, as I said, and as is contained in the press release, you will see that he has indicated continuous engagement with the party people, stakeholders within the party. As for political rustiness, I don't know what it means. Whether because he was not seen on political platforms speaking, it means he has become politically rusty or not, that one I cannot tell. But the answer lies in the fact that before he contested in 2014, whoever saw Mr. Afoko on a political platform? Nobody did. And so this time,
I would want to hazard a guess and say maybe the word political rustiness might stem from the thinking that, for instance, in the almost a decade while he was not seen in public light or in the media or on campaign platforms or political platforms, the likes of John Boedu, Chairman Wontumi, even to some extent, Mr. Boache Jako and Nana Acumia have been at the forefront of political activism and conversation. So maybe that is the assumption behind why we are saying that his silence might be a challenge for him. Yes.
Need I remind you again that before 2014, when Mr. Afoko beat experienced political figures like Jake Obechebilamte, Fred Owari, Stephen Intim, and the other person I think I've forgotten. These were party people who everybody knew. And so Mr. Afoko from nowhere, in terms of political stature, he measured up to none of them in the period leading to 2014.
Right.
How did he win? He engaged the party people. For me, he is in a better state now because he comes in as a former national chairman. He has a lot of people on the ground. He would engage them. At the end of the day, he believes that the party people who will be voting next year will have the opportunity to assess all of them.
Right.
And if that assessment is done ultimately, his record will stand very tall.
Right.
Now let me remind you of this. You will remember in the period leading to 2016, he supervised parliamentary primaries within the party without a hitch. And that resulted in the 169 constituencies or MPs the MPP had in 2017. Do you remember? That number reduced to 137 in 2020. Has reduced to 87 in 2024 or 2025, if you want it that way. And so he believes that if he's given the opportunity once again, together with others, they will be able to reorganize and get the party in a better position to forge ahead.
Okay. My last question to you, kindly indulge me, would be, we know that there are some pull and push factors within the rank and file of the party, and one key issue would be where a candidate for the party position aligns, whether they align with the whether they align with the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia camp or the Kenneth Japon camp or Brian Champon camp or maybe Dr. Asiedu-Dartey. So the flag bearer slots are one of the key pull or push factors that some of these other positions would be hoping to align with. Where is Mr. Paul Afoko aligning? With whom do you foresee that his campaign message would align with, so that if he does win as chairman, he can then mobilize to vote for that particular candidate?
My brother, do you expect Mr. Afoko to align with any of the candidates? He is contesting for the position of the national chairman. In fact, he believes that if the party is not well organized, whoever becomes the party's flag bearer cannot win the elections. So he believes that reorganizing the party is the topmost priority, number one, such that if the party is strong enough, whoever emerges, the names you have mentioned, whoever emerges as the flag bearer, the party will be ready going forward. He has no interest in aligning with people. You see, when you started mentioning names, you mentioned the name of Mr. Alan Martin. Is that not it?
Yes.
Is he with the MPP any longer?
No, he's not.
He's not with the MPP.
Okay.
That factionalism, where people will box people into certain factions and corners, has never helped the MPP.
Okay.
And Mr. Koko doesn't believe in throwing your support for candidate A even before the election happens. People can say all kinds of things, just like they did before 2014. He told the party people, those who matter, that anybody you select and you give me the chairmanship, we will work together and push the person to the presidency.
All right.
He's repeating the same message.
Okay.
He's not interested in, at all costs, A or B must become the flag bearer. No.
Right. Okay.
He's not interested in that.
We are grateful, Mr. Nanaya Osei. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best. Certainly we'll be engaging a lot more as we all build up to that important national exercise of the new Patriotic Party. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you heard the voice and thoughts of Nanaya Osei, spokesperson to Paul Afoko, who is seeking a comeback as national chairman of the New Patriotic Party. He has thrown in his hat, and as many will know, he's been away for about a decade and is coming back full throttle. And he says the comeback is as a result of internal calls from people of the party saying that his experience is needed if the NPP is to annex power again in 2028. What do you make of this political comeback? Do let us know in the comment section on our Facebook page and on YouTube where we are streaming. Just look for 3FM 92.7 and send your messages to us. We'll be happy to share it with the rest of the world. We're going on to one other headline story we have for you this evening. It has to do with the former Ghana Airport Company board chairman, another Paul. This time is Paul Adomochiri. Now, he has filed an application at the High Court seeking to quash a directive by the Office of the Special Prosecutor ordering him to declare his property and income. His lawyers, led by former Attorney General Godfred Dame, argue that the directive issued on the 4th of August 2025 is unlawful, violates the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, and its regulations, and also constitutes an abuse of power. Paul Adomochiri, who is under investigation by the OSP for suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in the award of a revenue assurance contracted by the Ghana Airport Company Limited to Avatex Limited, is seeking several reliefs from the court. These include a declaration that the Special Prosecutor's directive and alleged threats of legal consequences, confiscation, and detention are unlawful and amount to harassment. He is also asking for an order prohibiting the OSP from detaining him should he refuse to declare his property and income to the office by the stated deadline, among other reliefs. So if you go to our website, 3news.com, you'll get the full statement from Paul Adomochiri, and you can also read and understand his reasoning that he's putting before the courts, asking that the court suspend or ask the OSP to stop pursuing him. Portions of what Paul is saying, that the attention of Paul Adomochiri has been drawn to reports which suggest that he seeks to institute a legal action to prevent the OSP from having access to information on his assets through an data the 23rd of October 2025 and attached same to the form, indicating concern about the process. As a matter of record, the OSP's asset declaration forms have been completed and submitted to the OSP on the 23rd of October 2025, and Mr. Adomochiri remains committed to assisting the OSP to bring finality to the issues in question. The purpose of the legal action is to settle the law and procedure on the matter. So those are just a summation of what exactly Paul Adomotri is seeking, and this banter between him and the Office of the Special Prosecutor, for which reason he has gone to the High Court asking that the High Court ask the OSP to stop pursuing him and asking him to declare his assets and income. Again, the final word lies with you, the listener and the taxpayer in Ghana. Do you believe or stand with what Paul Adomotri is saying, or from where you said the OSP's directive must hold? Do let us know in the comment section on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. We'll share it with the rest of the world. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We have many more stories for you, and your messages will be read as well if you do send them in good time. Away from that, though, we're going to some unfortunate news that happened earlier today in and around the Accra Ridge Hospital. Information we picked up earlier, where our reporters were deployed to try and get first-hand assessment of what happened, is that a building collapsed and a number of people were trapped in. Investigations are currently underway into the cause of today's building collapse at the Roman Ridge Engineering Center in Accra, which left 14 construction workers injured. The three-story structure, reportedly being built by Fabrico Builders, came down around midday. The Ghana National Fire Service says it received a distress call at 12:18 p.m. and quickly dispatched a rescue team which arrived at the scene minutes later. All 14 workers were rescued and taken to the 37 military hospital and Ridge hospitals for treatment. No deaths have been reported. The fire service says that the cause of the collapse remains unclear, but a technical investigation is ongoing. Construction at the site has been suspended pending the outcome of the probe. Now, if you're watching our Facebook stream or YouTube stream, you will see the wreckage of the collapsed building and also the arrival time of the National Service fire officers. And clearly, it tells you that the 14 individuals or the construction workers were quite fortunate that they were only injured but did not lose their lives. And again, because of the spontaneous and the quick reaction by the fire service, they were able to immediately evacuate them and send them to the hospital, the nearby hospitals, 37 Military Hospital and Ridge Hospital, for treatment, where we are told that they are all responding positively to treatment. Now, let's listen to a report that was put together by Stanley Nibleu, who was one of the first respondents. He's a journalist here with us, and immediately we got the call, he also rushed in and has been able to put together this report.
Reports indicate that the structure caved in around 1 p.m. on Tuesday, while workers were actively casting concrete for the first floor of the building. 14 workers were trapped under the debris, sustaining various degrees of injury. A swift response and deployment of rescue personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service led to the successful rescue of all trapped victims. All 14 workers, some in critical condition, were rushed to the 37 military and Ridge regional hospitals for medical attention. An eyewitness who saw the collapse spoke to TV3.
Apart from that, but before
the structure is located on a plot between an uncompleted 10-story building and the Ghana Institution of Engineers at Roman Ridge. Although the immediate cause of the collapse is yet to be determined, the Ghana National Fire Service says investigations are underway.
Hospital. Currently, we've not received any information as to whether any of the injured have lost their life. And we are praying that nobody loses their life, just that some of them are in critical condition. So we are hoping that they receive the best of medical care and then they bounce back.
Meanwhile, construction firm Fabrico Builders has suspended all activities at the site. DO2 Desmond Aka provided further explanation.
Apparently, according to some of the workers and then eyewitnesses, whilst construction was ongoing, all they realized was that a section caved in. It was a new structure they were trying to use some reinforcement. that part or that portion caved in, and it affected about 14 workers who were working on that particular stretch. But the good news is that none of the injured 14 has suffered any fatality. So that is what I can report on now.
The defective project, according to officials, is a residential apartment complex.
And that report was put together by Stanley Niblewu, who was at the Ridge area following the collapse of a building where we are told that about 14 people who were trapped when the building collapsed have fortunately been saved and rescued and are receiving treatment at the hospital. 3FM is the station, 92.7 is the dial. This is Hot Edition, and I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Let's go on to Parliament now, because the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has ruled that the anti-LGBTQ bill will be reintroduced and passed again by Parliament for onward assent by the President. This follows the debate about the omission of the reintroduced bill on the order paper after it was advertised, with the minority side accusing the majority of attempts to avoid passing it. The majority leader, speaking on the floor on Tuesday, indicated that his side stands ready to pass the bill if the House decides that is the next move or the right direction to go in. So let's listen to the majority leader in Parliament asking for the bill to be reintroduced.
The attention of Mr. Speaker has been drawn to some few things. Mr. Speaker, we will be happy.
So that's Alexander Penyomarking. Actually, the minority leader will listen to what exactly he also has to say. But before that, let's bring you what exactly the Speaker of the House said.
The 8th Parliament is history. So that is the fairness I applied. Sometimes some people are not happy about it. But so far as I'm alive here, that is what will continue. Honorable members, with regard to the bill, as you know, the 8th Parliament is history. So are all the businesses that were pending in the 8th Parliament. They all ended with the 8th Parliament. And so we have a new Parliament, the 9th Parliament. And therefore, what was pending there came to an end and had to be reintroduced. And so when it was put on the order paper, I queried it because you haven't heard from me according to the standing order. So that will be done before it's laid before the House. But civil society is getting restless again, but I want to assure them that they know my passion in this matter, and I want to get it properly passed so that implementation becomes easier. There are a few things that our attention has been drawn to, which we'll work on together here, so that when we pass the bill, it's a bill that is accepted by all, and we will definitely obey the prescriptions of the bill.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin. Now let's listen to the minority leader who has been sharing a thought. In fact, if you recall, last week when Parliament resumed, he was one of the key voices that questioned why the bill had been taken out of the order paper, because a day prior it had been advertised in the order paper. But on the day he spoke, he said that the minority side had observed that the anti-LGBTQ bill was not on the order paper for discussion or deliberation in Parliament, which generated a response from the majority side. So today that the Speaker himself has spoken about it, let's listen to what Alexander Penyomarking has to say.
The attention of Mr. Speaker has been drawn to some few things. Mr. Speaker, we will be happy that at the appropriate time, some of these issues are shared with us, Mr. Speaker, because for us, this is a very important matter, and I'm happy that you have brought it to a peaceful rest, considering the unyielding posture our friends opposite me took on this matter, even where we were proposing some amendment for safe landing and we had had discussions. They never supported it. And in a hot afternoon, they decided to hang us.
And that's Minority Leader Alexander Peña-Marking, who also was commenting on the position shared by the Speaker about the return of the LGBTQ bill to the House for further consideration. So in subsequent bulletins, we'll bring you how exactly all of this is playing out and how Parliament debates and deliberations will be going forward. So we are also happy to hear from you. And again, this particular bill was in the earlier Parliament. It was passed, sent to the office of the President, the then President Nana Akufo-Addo, but he refused to assent to it and gave reasons why he thought he could not sign it. And well, as we know, like what the Speaker himself said, because it was not assented to, it did not come back to Parliament, and it is not law. So it died with the last Parliament. A new Parliament is in, and so they are going to be reconsidering that bill. So go to our website or send us your message on our Facebook and YouTube stream. We'll be happy to share it with the rest of the world. On to some other stories now, and if you just dig your hand in your pocket or you look around you and you see any Ghanaian currency, well, that currency has been in existence for well over 50 years. We actually are 60 years old in celebrating the Ghana cedi. And Finance Minister Dr. Kesel Ato-Forson has cautioned businesses and the public against trading or pricing goods and services in foreign currencies, particularly the US dollar. Speaking at the official launch of the cedi at 60 celebration, Dr. Forson noted the practice contributes to the country's economic challenges, hence must be stopped immediately. The Ghanaian cedi has appreciated significantly against the US dollar and has been described as one of the best performing currencies in Africa, according to Bloomberg report. The cedi recorded one of its strongest performances, exchanging at $1 to 12 cedis 10 pesos are the forex bureaus. Noble Crosby Annan sat through that celebration, which was launched earlier today, and has come through with his report.
In Ghana, it's become increasingly common to see prices quoted in US dollars, from real estate and car sales to hotel bookings and even some luxury goods. For many, it's seen as a way to guard against the cedi's fluctuations, but the practice has quietly taken root across key sectors of the economy, raising concerns about its impact on confidence in the local currency. Finance Minister Dr. Ato-Forson is calling for an end to the practice and rally behind the cedi.
We must be eschewing the act that seeks to undermine the value of the currency, particularly the pricing of goods and services in foreign currency, the US dollar. As Ghanaians, the Ghana cedi remains the only legal tender. The US dollar is not our currency. The continuous pricing of goods and services in US dollars will only hurt us. Let's stop it, and let us stop it now.
Speaking at the official launch of the cedi at 60 celebration, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Johnson Esioma, acknowledged the success of the cedi and warned against complacency.
Ghana has turned a decisive corner. And indeed, the evidence is compelling. Headline inflation is now at 9.4%, and we expect it to end the year even far lower. The cedi has appreciated by 37% as at October 17th. And according to the World Bank, it is the best performing currency in sub-Saharan Africa. We are not yet where we want to be, Excellencies, but we are no longer where we were.
For her part, Vice President Professor Jinan Opokwajima noted that the city's steady recovery is restoring confidence in the market, stressing the need to safeguard these gains through fiscal discipline and responsible governance.
The city has not only recovered, it has soared. The trust in the city will not sustain itself. Government must lead by example and commit to real fiscal discipline. No more reckless borrowing. We must anchor public finances in realistic revenue plans, efficient spending, and long-term planning. Today, too many goods and services are still quoted in foreign currencies. But if you earn in cedis, you must be able to transact in cedis.
And so that was a report put together by Noble Crosby. And congratulations to all of us. Congratulations to the Ghana cedi, which is flexing its muscles against the foreign exchange monies or the foreign currencies. And over the last few decades, it has gone through all sorts of turmoil, but in the last few months we are seeing its appreciation against the major trading currencies, especially the dollar. So the advice is clear: do not price or do business in dollar terms if you're living in Ghana. Our jurisdiction requires that you work with the currency of Ghana, which is the Ghana cedi. The entire country was thrown into a state of mourning. Well, the family has been actually very busy trying to find out who has the legitimate right to lay him to rest. And his property also has come under contention. So a Kumasi High Court has dismissed an application by Akosua Serwa to halt the funeral rites of High Life legend Daddy Lumba. The court affirmed that the authority over the mortal remains rests with his extended family, not his immediate wife, per the laws and traditions of the Asante region. Let's listen to this report put together over this particular issue.
The legal tussle which has captivated the nation reached its critical juncture as the courts refused to grant an injunction that would have prevented the legendary musician's wider family from taking his body from the morgue and proceeding with the final funeral rites. The ruling was on cultural principle. The court, presided over by Justice Dorinda Smith-Arthur, emphasized that in the Asante tradition, once a person dies, the body returns to its matrilineal roots, and how the funeral is conducted is the responsibility of the extended family. This means the responsibility for the funeral does not lie solely with the immediate family or the spouse, but with the broader clan, locally referred to as the Busuya. The wider family cannot be barred, the judge stated, clarifying that the authority to remove the body from the morgue is not the exclusive right of the immediate family. The case was brought to court by Akosua Serwa, who has been at the center of public dispute over her legal status as Daddy Lumba's wife. Basing a decision on the established Supreme Court rules, the judge concluded that it will be neither just nor convenient to grant the application, and it was therefore refused.
You get the point. But the main reason for the ruling is that he believes that it will not be fair to restrain the family at this time. He will hear the matter and give judgment on 25th of November.
Our objective first is to ensure that any impediment such as this injunction will be denied by the courts for the proper burial to proceed. After that, we will look at other aspects of the case. And as calculated and as objective as we were, by the grace of God, we've been able to achieve that. So what the judge read sounded very much like someone who appreciated both arguments, saw the superior argument from our side, from Baba Jamal and associates, and sided with our position.
With the injunction dismissed, the legal focus now shifts to the core of the dispute, which is declaring who among the two is the main surviving spouse. The court has ordered all parties to file all necessary legal processes by Friday, October 31, for a case management conference scheduled for November 14. This will set the stage for the main hearing, which is slated to begin on November 17.
And that report was put together by Ibrahim Abubakar. If you go to our website, 3news.com, you get the full details of the story. Some of your messages that we've got, Baba Rufai says, so this man only joined MPP when they are in opposition. He's not ashamed at all. So without MPP, he can't live his normal life. That's a question Baba Rufai is asking about Paul Afoko's return to active politics. Emil Smith also sends a greeting. Again, Baba Rufai goes on to ask, he should remember the people that sacked him from the MPP are still in the party, and so therefore he should be advised. Nothing can bring the MPP into power. Not even Jesus Christ can bring the MPP back into power. Well, that's a thought you have shared. Yahuza Andani says, it's not a good decision for Paul Afoko at all. These people, they nearly killed your brother in jail. Again, so that's on Paul Afoko story, which has generated many conversations.
Easy passage for the Queens.
Very, very easy passage. Very dominant display. You could see that Egypt weren't much of a threat to the Ghanaians. They were very comfortable on the ball. We could see at some point, even Alice Kusi trying some moves, trying some skills, trying some flicks and tricks. And so that goes to show the kind of confidence that they have. And also looking at the fact that they only trained for literally 1 day after the first leg is just a really dominant display, and it shows the gap in quality between that of the Black Queens and then, of course, Egypt.
Let's talk about Doris Bedua, hat-trick for her. She was one of the few players who came out to actually apologize despite finishing third at the Women's AFCON in Morocco earlier this year. How important is it for her, a striker, to get a hat-trick?
A big confidence booster. As you rightly mentioned, she did come out to apologize for her performance at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, the kind of quality that a lot of people know she has, she did not display it as much in the WAFCON itself. And so to see her bounce back and then get these 3 goals are really important. And hopefully she can really kick on from here, because she is literally the main striker for the Black Queens. She's someone they look forward to. They give her most of the balls to try and finish. And so to see her actually being efficient in goal is really good, and hopefully when it gets to the Women's AFCON stage proper, she can really prove her doubters wrong.
Lastly, this team has been together with Kim last week again in the past year or so. It feels as if they keep on growing from strength to strength. They finished third at the Women's AFCON. At the time, qualification was even hard, but now they're finishing third. The next AFCON determines who goes to the World Cup in Brazil. At this moment, given what you've seen, where does Ghana finish for you in the next tournament? Do they have enough to qualify for the World Cup?
I think they do. However, the number of teams for the tournament have been increased to 16, so that's more competition for the Black Queens, and they do have to keep it in their mind that this time a third place finish will not be particularly enough. You have to finish in the top 2 in your group. And so I believe that they need more matches together. Even though Kim has seemingly settled with the team, he will definitely need to assess this team against tougher opponents. Very, very good that they will be facing England in December. That is a very big test for them. That will measure the kind of quality that they should be facing. And hopefully they can get more friendlies. That was the unfortunate incident that led to the unfortunate exit of course, the former head coach of the team. That's Nora Hoopla. But this time, hopefully, with that England friendly already being set up, hopefully they can get some more friendlies before the main tournament itself.
Well, the scene has been set here at the Accra Sports Stadium, where the Black Queens players are going around with a bit of a lap of honor, celebrating with the fans after securing qualification for the 2026 Women's AFCON after beating Egypt by 4-0 in Accra, making it an aggregate score of 7-0. My name is Ore Kwampofo, and this has been the sports segment, our hot edition, here from the Accra Sports Stadium.